let's talk about Florida's floor. So we just did our ceiling, and I had the Gators ceiling at 11-1. Many others have said 10-2. I didn't think that's fair, but I picked 11-1. So what is Florida's floor? I'm gonna start this by saying we're assuming everybody's healthy. We're not gonna say Lagway gets injured, because I think you say Lagway gets injured, it could go from it's like a 3-game or 2-game difference. So we're gonna say Lagway stays healthy, and it's just a normal season. Like, of course, there's gonna be some injuries here and there, but we're just gonna look at this how we're looking for predicting the team. So Long Island is still a guaranteed win. I think the same 4 games. Those same 4 games that I said are guarantee wins when I was doing our ceiling, I still think are guarantee wins. So Long Island, USF, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. I think those 4 games are guarantee wins. And then you go look at that 4-game stretch against LSU, Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M. I think the cop-out answer is just to say 0-4 because they're all really good teams. You're thinking 3 of them on the road, and the one you're not playing on the road is the toughest of them all. So the cop-out answer is like, yeah, we could easily lose all 4 of those games. We could easily win all 4 of them. But as I said earlier, I picked us 3-1 as our ceiling. I think our floor is 1-3. And that's assuming Lagway and it's a regular season. Assuming Lagway's healthy. I think our floor in those 4 games is 1-3. I don't think there's a real possibility we go 0-4 in those games. But you look at 1-3, so that puts us at 3-3 going to Georgia. Wait, 1, 2, 1. Yep, 3-3 going to Georgia. I think you lose to Georgia in your floor. So that puts us at 3-4. Then I think that would have us beating Kentucky. So that would put us at 4-4 at our floor. And then wait. Oh, I skipped a game. 1-0, 2-0. And then of these next 4, we win 1. So that's 3-3. 4-3. Sorry, that would have us 4-3 going to Georgia. And then leaving Georgia was at 4-4. And then 5-4 leaving Kentucky. So the end of these last 3 games, I'll say our floor in those last 3 games is probably losing at Ole Miss and then beating one of Tennessee and Florida State. Yeah, our floor is probably going 1-3 down the stretch, which would have us finishing 6-6. Or 1-2, sorry, down that stretch and finishing 6-6. So yeah, I'll say 6-6 is our floor, assuming everyone stays healthy. And even then, I mean, if everyone stays healthy, I don't really see us going 6-6. So again, this is our floor. Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen 7-5 as a more realistic floor for the Gators, but I'll say 6-6 here. Rob with an interesting comment. I will know how the season will go by the USF game. He will we dominate it. It will be a good to great season. If the game is close, we'll win 8 games. If we lose, Billy is fired after the season. Okay, so if we dominate, it'll be a good to great season. If the game is close, we will win 8 games. And if we lose, Billy is fired. I'll say if we lose, then Billy probably is fired at the end of the season. I agree with that. I feel like if it's close or if we dominate, doesn't really reflect how it will go because it's before the LSU game, so there's a chance they're not going to try to show too much. I mean, if it's close, it would be worrisome, but I also think it might just be looking forward towards the LSU game. So, I mean, again, if it's our floor, we still win those 2 games, and then yeah, if it's close, then it's probably going to be a rough time going against LSU, Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M. And if we dominate it, yeah, I mean, because you can't take away, like, if we beat Long Island 100-0, it means nothing compared to beating them 54-0. So, and same against USF. I mean, USF is a bit more impressive because they actually have talent on that team. But those 2 games, I mean, unless you lose them, isn't really going to mean too much here. But to what standard? Said, I've heard reports USF has a good roster with depth. Like, is this depth compared to this American? You know, if it's in the American, like, again, the average team in the American loses to Florida by 30-plus points. And that's, like, on average. So there's probably more games where we're beating them by more than 30. Like, if I had to predict the game now, the final score, I would probably predict something on the lines of, like, 48-14. No, I'll say 41-14. Yeah. I mean, it's a team that went 6-6 last year, if I'm not mistaken. Here, sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, they went 7-6, so I'm assuming that's a loss in the bowl game. No, they won. I mean, yeah, they won their bowl game. Sorry, so they went 6-6 in the regular season. I mean, that's just like a Bama. I think they were in Bama's heads a bit because of the year before, where I do think they were a better team. I mean, I'm not going to read too much into that game. I mean, if we're dominating them, I'm going to have fun, and I'm predicting this to beat LSU. Which is all Billy should do. Why would Billy not do this? Why would Billy go out there? Sorry, I'll read it. Rob said, okay, in all seriousness, I kind of trust USF head coach to come with a better game plan than Billy. I feel like Billy would just rely on our superior talent. Why would Billy go out there and show anything special against USF when you have LSU, Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M coming up? There's no reason for Billy to go out there and be like, oh, I'm going to go show you this state-of-the-art trick play I've been working on. We have this guy that's been under the radar that we know is going to give LSU some trouble, but if they don't know about him, like, or, oh, we're going to show them that we can go 5 wide and do it easily. Like, I don't think Billy should go out there and show anything against these teams. I think maybe you show some Lagway deep balls to have some fun out there, but I don't think they go out there. I don't think they should go out there and put their best game forward. I mean, their best game plan forward. Like, I think you keep it simple. Just use your talent, dominate them in the trenches, which we should do real easily. Let Lagway do his thing, and we should just run him off the tracks. I'll put it this way, we should be saying Ole with the Bulls when they come to Gainesville on September 6th, which is in just under six weeks. I'll put it that way. So getting back to Florida's floor here, I think it's 6-6, although I think that's like the biggest possible floor, assuming everyone stays healthy. Put in the comments what you guys think our floor is. I've seen some 7-5s, but I think with how he's seen Billy, he's lost games that he shouldn't have in the past. I mean, every coach has. So, I mean, it's not just a Billy thing, but I think when you look at the past, I think 6-6 is the floor, not 7-5. There's no guarantees. You got to have that killer mentality. I mean, we can kill USF by keeping it simple. Michael here. It didn't matter because the players think they can beat anybody if they can't stop your offense. Yeah, I mean, we can do that. I'm not saying we're going to stop running offense. Like, I'm just saying we're not going to show anything special in that game. We don't need to. I mean, DJ Lagway is more talented than probably the entire USF defense combined. Like, he can just do his average stuff. Like, he doesn't need to do anything special. And plus, DJ Lagway's injury stuff. Like, you probably also want to keep him rested for that game at LSU. Michael, 8-5 is the floor, so I'm assuming that means 7-5 regular season. And 11-1 is the ceiling. Fair enough. Ball can score 5 touchdowns in a game. I love Ball. And I also want to say, I think Ball can thank the receivers a lot for those 5 touchdowns last year, being tackled inside the 5 like 3 times in that Kentucky game. And that's no just credit towards Ball, but Ball would probably only have 2 or 3 if the Florida receivers could not fall when they're about to score a touchdown. And that's something you got towards Lagway as him only having X amount of touchdowns. I think that's more on the fact that his receivers slipped and fell and got tackled a lot, which I think now J. Michael Sturdivant, a tall, lengthy, quick, deep threat, I feel like they're going to finish those touchdowns off more than we saw from last year. We don't need to. You're right. Backup QB will be in the game. Like that's near as a guarantee as it gets. Do you think we have turned the corner on defense? That's one key for me. I think floor is 6-6, but that would include a lot. So, Rob, you think our ceiling is 8-4, but our floor is 6-6, and that's would include a Lagway injury here. I don't think you understand the assignment, Rob. I think there's been something lost in translation here. But do I think that we've turned the corner on defense? I think you look at the end of last year after that Texas game. I mean, even look after the Mississippi State game. 13 points to UCF, 17 points in regulation to Tennessee, 20 points including a kickoff return for a touchdown to Kentucky. And then you have all those injuries hit in the Georgia game, and the defense got 3 picks, and then like Devin Moore, Dijon Johnson, everyone got hurt on defense in that Georgia game. The Texas game kind of just, it happened. But then you go host LSU, 16 points, hold them to 3 field goals, and 1 touchdown, of course. Get 7 sacks on an offensive line that had given up 7 or 6 all season. And then Ole Miss, statistically one of the best offenses in the country, you give up 17 points to, and make Jackson Dart throw more interceptions in the game than he had thrown since, was it 2023? In 2 years? And then you hold FSU to 11 points. And then Tulane, you hold it's their backup to 8 points, and it was a last-minute touchdown that got Tulane the win. No, Rob, I understand what you're saying. I just feel like it's kind of a cop-out. Just be like, oh, he can't do it until he's done it. I feel like it's a cop-out. That's just my thought. That's just my opinion, though, Rob. So, get back to this, sorry. Do I think the defense has turned a corner? I think the defensive line has the top-end talent to really keep the Gators up there on defense. I mean, right here, LSU line was loaded with NFL linemen. RD line is good or better than last year. So, I think the defensive line, I think that's going to be just as good as last year, if not better, with George Gums now playing Jack and LJ McCray going into his second season. Yeah, probably should be better because you'll have more of a presence off the edge. And then our linebacker room. You lose Shamar James, 5th-round pick in the draft. I love Shamar, really good player. But you still have Pup Howard, who was probably our most consistent linebacker before he got hurt. And then Miles Graham and Aaron Childs, 2 highly touted freshmen. I think we saw a lot from Miles Graham last year that would suggest that he might start this season, and he might have the highest ceiling a Gator linebackers had since Brandon Spikes. Maybe I'm missing somebody. Jared Davis. So, and then you still have Jaden Robinson, who is like, if he's coming off the bench, if he's like your first linebacker off the bench, which we play a lot of linebackers, so you need them, I think you're looking in a fantastic spot. So I think that front seven right here, our front seven is looking really, really good.